wanted to tell you guys how consistent you have to be with your workouts and your commitment to fitness. I'm dedicated, I'm in, and it still hurts every day. Been working out for the last 20 years. Shout out to the Army. Morning, good job. 20 years getting paid to work out every morning, and you still got to embrace the grind, and it's still difficult. You just got to dig deep. And just remember, pain is weakness leaving the body. I really pushed myself this morning, so at least to the edges of my max. I checked my heart rate. It's in the 170, 180 range. That's where you want to be. See how long you can keep it there. It's pretty tough, but something you should do. Here's Kim and Ash. Good job, sweetie. Great job. You want to finish? Okay. You catch up to me?
It's broke.
Okay. Oh, great. She broke her damn leash. $60 leash. It broke. That's not good. That's why you have a pit bull. Come on. So she had to stop and fix her. That's not good. Well, I'm here for you guys' sports questions. I'm here for anything transfer portal related, sports world related. Just don't ask me anything baseball. I haven't watched a baseball game since the Cubs won the World Series. So it's been a little while. And before that, it was the Red Sox beating the Yankees after being down 3-1. Or was it 3-0? It was 3-1, right? What do you think about Adam Hopkins to Charlotte? So I'm going to make the video today. I think it's really good for Charlotte, man, to get that caliber of player. Charlotte does have good players, and they just all left in the secondary. Some of their all-conference guys and things like that. So they still have one or two guys there, but they need some players. I wonder if he's going offense or defense, or maybe both. I think he's a special player, so I'm excited for him and his opportunity at Charlotte. Charlotte needs to get their coaching staff together, and they really need to figure out what they're going to do about discipline. You know, I watched a lot of their plays and a lot of their games. Well, I watched all of their games, but sorry about that. My dog is on a leash. Watching them and just knowing that they have talented players, but they're getting unsportsmanlike penalties. They're getting players arguing with the coaching staff, and most of it was Anoma. But still, it's just one of those things where you want better discipline out of your players. You just want more accountability from the coaching staff and holding them accountable. Hey, stop that. Sorry, my dog was pulling me because I don't have a leash anymore. She broke it this morning. He said wide receiver. That's cool. It's good for him. Players got to go where they're wanted, and they got to play where they want to play. There's some players out there that don't want to get off the quarterback spot when they would be a hell of a defensive back or wide receiver or tight end, but somebody told them they're the quarterback. Things like that are everywhere. I know one good player, Micah Bowens, will not stop trying to play quarterback. He's been to Penn State, Oklahoma, went to Charlotte, and now I don't know where the hell he's at. He might be done. That's a recruiting miss all the way around. And, the young people will see a recruiting website, rank a player, and never concede that the player isn't that good. They just keep saying, he's 4 or 5 stars. You don't know. But I do know there are hundreds of 4 stars that never make it to a 2 deep and never play any significant time in college. Hundreds are misses. Not just a few dozen, literally hundreds. So if you study the transfer portal, if you study recruiting rosters, you will see the amount of misses there are. And it happens. So when a big name player at your school doesn't pan out, don't assume he was supposed to pan out. It's the reality of the situation. I see it everywhere. And then you see those 3 stars and those 2 stars and those 0 stars that come out of nowhere and develop and late bloom. It's hard to predict how good a player is going to be when you're dealing with things like, puberty, growth spurts, work ethic, schemes in high school that weren't conducive to them being successful. How can you tell if a running back's any good if he's running the wing T for 2,000 yards? And you're like, well, yeah, he's predominantly run heavy offense. Oh, look at the ducks, baby. They all got in the water because you were coming. Come on. Leave Mama alone. Mama's coming. So Kim's catching up. That's why she stopped walking. Oop. She sucks. Come here. Ah, my back hurts, baby. Hey, my back is killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do this? I'm sorry, it broke. $60 leash. Better off getting $20 ones. Oh, sorry about that. Can we see the dog? Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can flip this camera. She's a pit bull. She's about a year and some change. She's almost 2 years. She'll be 2 years next month. Her name is Ash, and Ash is a beast. Usually we let her off the leash and just go search the woods for other wildlife. She goes in here and gets after some squirrels. The problem is she goes into the swamp, and we don't want her in the swamp. So sometimes she gets in there. She's very brave out here. She's been out here every day of her life, so nothing bugs her. And so we got to keep her on a leash for now. Yeah, she's very nice. She's the type of dog to cross all that shit and come back full of mud and be like, I found a squirrel. So shout out to her. You just walk in the other side, so you're walking the middle. I don't know. She's a pain in the butt. She's trying to eat grass because if she licks the grass, she gets the morning dew and she wants water. But she can make it without water. She's done this many times. She's done this run a lot. She can make it back to there's a drinking fountain about a quarter mile from the car. So we stop at that drinking fountain every time, and she doesn't get a whole lot of water. She just gets enough to wet her tongue. She's just spoiled. She really is spoiled. She sleeps in the bed. She's a house dog. She doesn't chew on anything. Doesn't run off when you open the door. She's very house trained. She's not gonna do anything wrong. We've left her home alone for a week, and she comes back and she can feed herself. She doesn't overeat. You can put all the food in her bowl all you want. She's not gonna overeat it. And then she has a water system, so it's straight, and she has a dog door so she can go outside. Like, she's her own self-functioning person. We don't have to take her on anything. We bring her in the mornings on these runs because she's very, very, protective. And when I'm running on these secluded trails by myself, there's no one else around, and Kim can just run with her. She'll carry Kim, and if she sees me in the distance, she'll help Kim get her stride going because she'll start digging and dragging her to get to me. So that's always good. But she's a beast. She's a beast. She's very, very light sleeper, so we like her because she'll wake me up if something's going on outside. And I always got I'm always strapped, so I'm always within arm's reach of protection. It's just habit I have and just the way I live. So it doesn't matter if I'm on the computer in the lab, if I'm sitting watching TV, laying in bed, taking a shower, wherever it is, dude. If you think you're gonna get the jump by kicking in my front door or something, or the back door, whatever, it's just not gonna happen. The jump is real. Being a retired first sergeant, I've been around firearms for the last 2 decades now, every day, and it's just kind of who I am. And then I took Kim to the range, taught her how to shoot. Kim's a beast. We have her first silhouette above the fridge. We just have it rolled up there. But if you guys ever want to see every shot Kim ever did, it was a kill shot. I'm just a little more refined. My shot group's tight, but I'm just nice with it. Yeah, Bigfoot gonna get you, bro. I don't believe in Bigfoot. I don't believe in any conspiracy theories. I don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Yeti, none of that stuff. Chupacabra, nothing, none of those exist. Because the first one that really got me thinking was the Loch Ness Monster. When I was a kid, saw an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, and I just thought, okay, so these people got a picture of this thing in this lake, And they call it the Loch Ness Monster. But I want to know, how long does it live? And who does it mate with? Because if it's the only one of its kind and it can't get out of the lake, what's its life expectancy? Are we just magically saying this shit lived 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years? What is it, you know? So once you start applying logic to some of these things, it doesn't bug me anymore. That's why he's going to get you. I'm just going to say, if you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear, man. I'm a real problem. I'm a walking specimen. I love my life, and I've spent the last 2 decades training myself. So I know some people watch my videos and be like, this guy thinks he's a superhero, but I'm like, bruh, I am. I'm like a real one. It's different. Go watch the videos. If you scroll back far enough on YouTube, you'll see. But I highly doubt most of you guys go to the videos and scroll back. It's all good. It's just, the haters are hating from their mom's house or from their couch. And I'm out here on a trail every morning before you wake up. I'm out here putting in work. Oh, Rico, it's just a trail. I know, buddy. But I'm not here to try to beat you. I'm trying to beat myself. And that's the hardest thing to do, is beat me. I'm beating myself every day. I'm just saying. I swear I know this lady running. I swear I do. Morning. I think I used to work with her. She out here running out of nowhere, bro. My girl's out here wearing a Rico Knows shirt. She got the merch from ricoknows.org. If y'all don't know, we got a website where you can buy merch. ricoknows.org. You can go get merch. She got the prototype on, though. Huh, babe? We got other shirts now. We got throw blankets and hats and coffee mugs and shot glasses. We got everything, I think. And even if we don't have it, you just write me a DM. We can make it. I think we can make it. But you get your Rico Knows merch. I don't really spam it. I don't really advertise it overly too much. I'm not too worried about it. I make a living. I ain't starving. I ain't starving, Marvin. So when I get home today, I'm going to do one draft review video for the MVPs, do one high school film review, then I got to do a Patreon deep dive on a team. I believe I'm doing the SEC. I did Arkansas yesterday, so whatever team in the SEC is alphabetical after Alabama, Arkansas. What's that? What's that? We have an appointment at 4? Where at? With Robin. Oh, I gotta go. I didn't know that. Well, I got an appointment at 4 o'clock today with the realtor. So that'll take me away from some of my content creation. Probably do the deep dive later tonight then. Because those take a while. Those take a while. Those are not easy. You gotta go study every team. Usually I study every team starting lineup. Well, yeah, it's a long process. I study coaching staffs, last year's results, what happened in the spring game, what happened in the transfer portal recruiting class, then every position group, the depth chart on every position group on every team. Yeah, if you're an MVP, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen them. I know you guys appreciate the content. I appreciate you guys. I know it's not a magic trick, but abracadabra. So anyways, kind of mad at TikTok this morning. I made a video on Diddy last night and they flagged it for unoriginality. They thought I was showing Diddy's apology and his hotel video of him beating Cassie. Did nothing of the sort, just gave my take on the situation. So I had to appeal it. I won my appeal, but it's still, I lost 8 hours worth of views and distribution, and that kind of bugs me because it sets you back. So you put in effort to make a video and then they do it on purpose because they know the video is going to make a lot of money or get a lot of views and they don't want to pay you. So they just flag it intentionally. It reduces their overhead. They don't want you to do anything like that. They're just busters, bro. It's all good. I ain't mad. Can't let that shit get you down. Can't let it bother you, but it happens. Hey, Rico, reasoning for having LeBron as the GOAT over Jordan. Yeah, well, I'm going to start with, I have like 10 reasons. But the number one reason for me is Jordan never made it to the NBA Finals and never achieved any success without Phil Jackson, right? So we can all admit Phil Jackson's a top 10 coach of all time, one of the greatest coaches ever. And when you talk about coaching and continuity, it's important, man. It's what makes Kobe better than Jordan to me. It's like, if you can't win without the greatest coach, and I don't know who you are. So building all-star teams and super teams, it was a thing in the 90s. People just didn't recognize it for that. But that's exactly what it was. I see a man who lost in the playoffs a ton, never made it to the finals for fucking half his career. And when I look at LeBron, he just went to the finals 9 years in a row in a highly competitive athletic NBA. Yeah, it's the upper echelon of athletes now as opposed to before. So it's just how I feel. Good morning.
Who God was creating me to be, that I could handle what he's going to put on me. Left.
Pardon me.
You think I was full of Jesus before?
Morning, morning. This guy's out here on a bike preaching, bro. That's Georgia for you. You'd be out on the trail, some dude giving you a sermon and shit. So yeah, I just don't like people downplaying LeBron's greatness for an extended period of time, for an absorbent period of time. And what I'm going to say is LeBron exceeded every expectation. You know, when he came into the league in 2003, people were anointing him 5 stars, number one, all this stuff. He's better than that. He's better than the number one player in 2003. He's better than the number one player in 2004, whatever it was. When you start looking at the players drafted, guys like Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade, he's better than other Hall of Famers drafted at the same time. You know, it's so remarkable. It's so remarkable. I can't even sit here and list it all, but the reality is Jordan just doesn't move me like that, to that needle. She's wiping herself? Okay. So that's how I feel. Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan's son. I don't believe they're related at all, and I don't think Anthony Edwards is on that echelon. Oftentimes you guys anoint players after one series, maybe 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, but he's not in that discussion at all. Morning. For me, Anthony Edwards reminds me a lot of the caliber of Sean Kemp or Vin Baker. He doesn't remind me of an all-time great. He reminds me of a very good all-star in his day, period. That's how I feel. What do you think of Colorado's record will be this year, and do you think they'll make a bowl game? So, Quan, I've already answered that information 10 times over. It's in videos, but it's all for the MVP. So, subscribe to the channel, become a member. You can go back and watch all the Colorado videos, and you'll see my win total predictions. You'll see what I think of the team and where I think they end up. A lot of people don't know how I really feel about them. They think, like, I actually absolutely despise the way Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders are carrying themselves this offseason. Just their conduct via Twitter, their conduct in the public, in the media, things like that. I actually despise it right now. But that doesn't mean I think the team is terrible. That doesn't mean I think all the other players suck or anything that doesn't even mean that I think they suck. I just don't agree with their antics and their lack of class. You know, there's another coach out there that used to play in the NFL and is for the culture and all this shit. And his name is Deshaun Foster. And he's carrying himself a far different way in the media. And I really appreciate what Deshaun Foster's building and doing. He hires black head coaches or assistant coaches, and he reps all this shit. Like, all the shit you guys, like, what people don't understand is they label Colorado a certain way because their players went to an HBCU first. So you think they are predominantly pro the culture and black culture and all this stuff. But the reality is, it's just a bunch of spoiled rich kids. Or they're the sons of rich kids. They went to private schools. It's a social stature thing. It's not a racial thing. It's you can't relate to these guys. They could get away with murder. You can't. They could get away with DUIs, and they can get away with anything really because they are rich and they come from that. So they don't know how to carry themselves appropriately. They don't have that dog in them. They're not what you think, man. And that's just the way I feel about it. So I appreciate other programs and what they're building, and you don't have to blindly support somebody because they look like you. That is absurd. I know plenty of Mexican coaches, Marcus Arroyo and Sanchez and a couple other guys in the FBS. I don't support them blindly because they're Mexican, because they look like me or they came from my upbringing. Like I don't get down like that. I call it for what it is. I base everything off of merit and conduct. So I'm not a huge fan of what Colorado coaches are doing this offseason at all. And I don't like the selling point that they have. You know, I just don't. But a lot of their players are very good. I think they're going to win games, just not as many games as some of you guys think. And that's the reality of the situation. If the O-line and D-line hold up, they should win 8 games. Yeah, I think that's a fallacy. I think that's some type of pipe dream. What I will tell you is the offensive line holding up. Like, let me just put it out there. Like, I'm just going to say it, okay? When you build your offensive line from UTEP, Indiana, UConn, like, these are where the transfers are coming from. UTEP, Indiana, UConn. Like, what are we doing? Jackson State. Like, what are we doing? Those are your starters on the offensive line? That can't possibly be the recipe for success that you guys are all envisioning. And they're not even the best players from that offensive line. Oh, in Houston. They're not even the best players from those schools on those offensive lines. So you took guys that were on those teams who, some of you will be like, well, they had high PFF scores. Yeah, they were playing at a lower echelon of football, so they were beating their opposition in front of them. When you play in the Conference USA, you're going to have a high PFF score. It's the reality of the situation. Have you seen the highest PFF scores for running backs in the SEC this year? It's transfers from other conferences. It's not the guys that were in the SEC. So you can dominate substandard opponents and look great. But when you get to the FBS level, it's different. So while I applaud them for improving their offensive line, which they have done immensely, to say that they are an 8-win team is absolutely ridiculous when an 8-win team returned their entire offensive line. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's like an 8-win FBS team right now that is returning their entire offensive line, and they're poised to win 10 games. They're poised to be better. Babe, just let her run. Why are you bugging her? Let her run. You sound crazy. There's nobody out here to bug her. She's doing nothing wrong. Yeah, you can't build a team overnight. So to go from 4 to 8 is absolutely absurd. Like, I wish people understood. It's not that it's absurd. It's you got to have a different approach to how you do things. And I don't think they changed their approach at all. I think they found coaches to accommodate their players and accommodate their approach. They didn't necessarily find coaches to mold the players. I'm serious. They found coaches that the players approve of. Huge difference. I want you to look at Northwestern. Northwestern was 1-11 2 years ago. They fired Pat Fitzgerald. They hired David Braun. And Northwestern won 8 games last year. So don't say you can't do it overnight. Don't say it can't be done in 1 year. A high academic institution without transfers did it in 1 season. And they did it by a change in philosophy. They did it by a change in coaching staff. Something Colorado couldn't do. Northwestern went out there, made it to a bowl game, something Colorado couldn't do. And that's kind of why you guys just don't quite understand what's going on, is because you're fans of your one team and you're only looking at your one team. You're not studying the results of other teams. You're not studying how they are and who they are. Like Texas Tech, they underachieved last year. It's not going to happen again. They're going to have to play better. They're going to perform better. They have better players. West Virginia is a top 15 team. It's the reality of the situation, right? Arizona, top 15 team once they started Noah Fafita. Like, you guys just got to pay attention to stuff, and you're not. Good morning. Our girl's very nice. Oh, she just thinks she's little, so.
I love, my brother has them and I love them.
Yep. Yeah, her name is Ash, and she is the prettiest, nicest little girl in the world. Come here, sweetie. Come on.
Got like,
A little bit lighter skin, but
Yeah. Y'all have a blessed morning. Did you see the baby snake out here when you started?
no.
There was a baby green snake right at the light bridge,
Oh, we didn't.
right before it.
Okay, we didn't go that way. We
Okay, you crossed at the light bridge?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so once again, you're talking about a team that retained the majority of their 1-11 roster. So you can try to say it's a good thing, but then everybody else out here said it was a bad thing to do that at Colorado. But Northwestern did it just fine. They didn't dump their whole roster. It's coaching, man. It's not anything else but coaching. Coaches could have won 2 extra games last year. Better coaches could have won 2 more games at Colorado. Better coaches would have schemed differently in the second half against Stanford. Better coaches would have called timeouts when it mattered most. Better coaches would have put players in position to make plays or started the right players. There's no reason a guy like Roderick Ward shouldn't have been starting all season. And when you see him doing better every single day at practice, every single week, how doesn't he start the whole season? You know, you wait till the 5th week or something like that. It's just, there's better coaches out there that evaluate talent differently, get the most out of their players, and they're on other coaching staffs, period. So, yeah, I'm not too excited about Colorado other than they have really, really good, they have some talent at certain key positions, but they don't necessarily, they don't scream 8 wins to me. They don't scream a team that's going to win the Big 12 or anything like that. I think you guys ought to study the other Big 12 teams and how deep they are. Like, the leading receiver from ODU just transferred to Arizona, right? So Romello Murphy transfers in, leading receiver from Old Dominion last year. Do you understand the 3rd best receiver at Old Dominion was going to transfer to Texas A&M? Like, the amount of receivers at ODU that are really good is off the charts, and their best one just transferred to Arizona. By the way, he's the 3rd wide receiver at Arizona. That's what people don't understand. Like, teams are deep, man. Teams are deep. And so you go and get a great wide receiver, the leading receiver from FAU and Vanderbilt, 2 of the worst teams in America, and you try to convince us now you have the best wide receiver room in the country or top 10 or whatever. And it's like, no. There are teams with 3 wide receivers better than anybody you have. It's a fact, man. And people don't, you guys just don't study the position. You don't study the rooms. Come on, mamas. It's bad. It's bad. Those players were Power 5 caliber, just needed a culture switch. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I think the Commander's going to make a big year turnaround. Jahan Dotson going into year 3. So, I don't watch NFL games. I stop supporting the NFL the minute a player gets there. So, I follow players from high school, through college, through the draft. I do not watch NFL games. So, I don't really give a shit how they perform in the NFL. A lot of that has to do with my animosity towards NFL coaches and GMs and how they utilize players. The fact that they're more financially invested in a player, that player will start over a better player. Happens on every single team. So I just can't stand it. With that being said, I really enjoy Jahan Dotson's skill set. I think he's a sure-handed receiver. I like everything he does. I was really rooting for him and pulling for him coming out of Penn State. Washington's turnaround is all going to be derived around their quarterback play and what they get out of that position and how well they perform. So if you expect them to be better, then so be it. I would say in their division, their quarterback is ranked last, right, among all quarterbacks in that division. So it's not really, I mean, they're just going to have to overachieve. I don't really see how you turn the corner. It's a quarterback-driven league. You can have good everything else. It doesn't matter. So somebody's got to throw the ball to Jahan Dotson. It's not like he's a bad receiver and doesn't get open. So we'll see how he does. I'm a realistic fan, and I'll ride with you on the caliber of depth Colorado has. Yeah, I think a lot of people want to be realistic, but when you say the word fan is derived from the word fanatic. So once you're fanatical about one specific team, it's a big puppy. Look at her. She's worried about the big puppy. She stopped walking. She's like, save me, mama. Come on, you got to get on your leash. Ash, stop moving. Good girl. Should be all right. Give me a second, y'all. Good morning. Hey, buddy. That dude's big. Oh, it's a girl. They want to play. She wants to play. That's a big girl. That's a big girl. That's a big girl. She's twice the size of Ash. She's huge. And Ash is about 65 pounds. Ash about 65. That puppy was 130. And she's getting dragged by she's getting walked by her mom and her mommy. What's going on here? Are they playing? Okay. You see them two up front? I see a guy grabbing a girl. I freak out. It looked like he was trying to R-A-P-E her. I was about to get mad. There's a couple in front of us, a guy and a girl, and he's trying to wrap his arms around her. She's trying to fight him off. People just letting their dogs shit out. That's fresh. I wasn't here when I was running out. People just wrong, bro. It's a sunny day out. I feel you on the business politics messing with the NFL. Shit's terrible. Yeah, I think the product is terrible. I won't watch it. And like, I'm the type of dude, I put my money where my mouth is, bro. I really don't watch the NFL. Sundays, I watch Group of 5 football. I catch back up on any Group of 5 games I missed on Sundays. That's where I put in all my effort. I do a lot of checking results from Saturday. I check box scores, look for any dudes that I'm not familiar with that might be having a breakout game, and then I go do research on them. And I go back and watch a bunch of Group of 5 games. And the reason I'm specific about 5 games is because Monday through Friday is when I sit down and watch all the games in a particular conference. It's really easy to do. Typically, it's only 6 or 7 games. I can watch 2 at a time, put them on 1.5 playback speed. I can finish a game in about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, cut in halftime. So I will go back and watch all the Power 5 games during the week. So Mondays, ACC, Tuesdays, Big 10, Wednesdays, Big 12, Thursdays, SEC, and then Fridays used to be Pac-12. Now I got time to do something else. I think Fridays I'm going to do UFC to keep it going. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I watch every game. I'd rather do that than watch any NFL games. And then every day during the week, during the season, I do a podcast every single day on those conferences. So I watch all the games that day, and then I do my podcast that evening at 5 p.m. So I wake up around 7, start grinding on it, and then I watch it at 5 p.m. That's what I do. Then I do my podcast at 5 p.m. I also skip out on high school film reviews for the most part during the season, and then I pick them up after season. So we're going to let the waiting list populate during football season. It'll be a bit, we'll have to get on it. And then we'll start popping off videos. Again, it holds me over in the off season because revenue goes down when I'm not in football season, and we need something to cover the revenue, and football film reviews do that for me immensely. So that's always fun. I don't put any of the film reviews here on YouTube at all. I only put them on TikTok. And if they're good enough, I'll mention them on Twitter and reach out to some coaching staffs on behalf of the players. What you guys don't know is I do that extra part for free. If I like your tape, I will reach out to coaching departments and get you in touch with the right people to get you an offer, whether it be a position coach at a particular school, offensive coordinator, or a head coach. Shout out to Coach Carter, Zoe Carter, Arizona. He just reposted one of my tweets yesterday about one of his players at Arizona. So, you know, the coaches are watching the content and they're retweeting what I'm saying. So that's pretty good. Shout out to Zoe. He's a great running backs coach, one of the best in America, best recruiters in America. So it was nice to get some some recognition from him. But that's pretty status quo and pretty normal for me. I get coaches to repost my stuff all the time. Got to join with the membership. I'm missing out hell of the UFC streams. So yeah, so obviously you're missing out on the UFC fights, but you're also missing out on the picks. We went 8-4 on Saturday, and we missed no locks. We were 100% on the locks. Just could have been perfect, but one thing went wrong. Morning. Angela Hill got a submission win. She's never done that in her career, and we didn't bet on that, so we lost our ass on that. But other than that, we still got 8 out of 4 right, or 8 out of 12 right on the predictions, so it felt pretty good. But that the MVPs they love the UFC cards. Never mind the fact that, don't forget the fact that you get to watch the fights with me on the Discord server. So if you're a member, you don't have to be paying for all that other crap. We got you. Just come hang out with us. I provide commentary on every fight. I will tell you what's going to happen, what's happening, and how they're doing it, why they're doing it. And I'm never wrong. It usually works out pretty good. Yeah. Anyways, hey guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. We're coming to the dead zone. I appreciate it being here this morning. Thanks for the question, thanks for the interaction. Y'all have a blessed day. Good luck, and I'll see you another time. Peace.